Well, good day. This is Grandpa Jim from Grandpa Jim's Gardening Tips. Today we're going to be talking about carrots. Now, we're all familiar with a carrot. You go to the grocery store and you see the ones that are big, long, beautiful red carrots. But did you know there's different types of carrots, different shapes? There's some that are more like a cylinder shape and they're extra thick, and those are really good if you grow them in a clay soil. There's also ones that are long and thin, and there's even round ones as well. So there's different kinds of carrots, but most of us are used to the normal orange carrot. And this is, the kind of one we're going to be growing today. It's one of the standard types. But did you know that carrots come in colors? In fact, the orange carrot is actually a fairly recent thing in terms of how many hundreds of years people have been growing carrots. There's also one that is, you can grow purple. Now you can see the outside's purple, but the inside's still orange. Then there's also ones that they call black, and you can see there that they are black. And then we have ones that are red. And we also are going to grow a cylinder one that is yellow. You can also find them in white. I have found the whites don't taste as good to my taste, but some of the different colors, they all have high nutrients that we all need. Carrots are really, really good for you. So what does carrots need to grow? Well, what you need is, first of all, lots of sun. They like sun. Make sure that they get at least 8 hours, I say, of sun to get really nice carrots. They also need rich organic soil with lots of organic matter, compost, and should be 12 inches deep, especially if you're going to be growing the ones you see in the store, the long, thin, narrow ones. What I usually do is I put some bone meal in it because bone meal provides phosphorus, which promotes growth of the roots, and that's what we want. Well, here's a little trick that I learned the hard way about carrots. They like to be watered, and they like to be watered deeply. But then, don't do that every day. Wait until the soil dries out, then give them another deep watering. The reason for that is if you water every day, they will grow, they will crack, they'll not form a nice root, they'll get forked and misshapen, and you want usable, nice carrots. So water very deeply, but then wait until the soil really goes and until it's dry, and then you do that. And also, if you do too much water, this happened to me. It wasn't so much that I was watering a lot, which I probably was doing more than I should, but we had late, heavy rains here in central Ohio, and they just split open. And once they split open, it opens them up to disease and all kinds of critters that like to burrow in them. So the big thing is soft soil, have them in good organic soil, 12 inches deep, water them very deeply, let the soil really dry out, and then water again. So we're going to be going outside here in just a minute. I invite you to come out into my garden, and we will be planting carrots. So we'll look forward to that, and we'll go from there. Well, here we are out in our garden, and we're going to be, like I said at the beginning of this video, we're going to be planting carrots. So what I do, as you can see here, remember we talked about how it's important to have good, deep soil. As you can see, this is a good foot, maybe even a little more, of good, soft, composted soil. A good time to plant your carrots is about 3 weeks before the last frost. That's the recommendation that they usually do. Now what I do is first, they should be planted about a 1/4 inch deep, which is not very deep at all, because if they're too deep, they'll germinate but not be able to come up. So you see here, I'm making a very shallow row as best I can. Now I'll show you what we do that will definitely help that as well. What I do is, first of all, with my carrots, I go ahead and I plant my carrots. I'll show you the size of the seed. Quite frankly, this is a little tougher because the seeds are so small. But if you plant them and just sprinkle them along the row, you will end up having to thin them, or if you don't, you get nothing but tops. So what we want to do, we want to just plant them, say every couple inches. So what I do here with these is I take, there's one seed. Now you don't need a tool like this, but this is what I used. And you just drop it there, and about 2-3 inches, we plant another one. And some people will plant 2 and then just do some light thinning, but again, it's a lot of work. And you can see here, about every 2-3 inches, we plant our carrot seed. Now, if I would take this, and this happens to be full of all kinds of good compost and stuff, but if you get it too deep, you're in trouble, and we certainly don't want to have them have a trouble coming up out of the ground. So I will continue doing this along the way. But here's what I do that will really help them come up and give them also a really good start. First of all, I go ahead and we put in a little bit of bone meal. Remember, bone meal, phosphorus. Phosphorus makes for good roots. So we put a little bit of that in there, but instead of covering it with the soil I have, I get my ProMix potting mix, and it's very soft. And then I just lightly cover them with the ProMix. And that's really all you have to do. And then after you do that, just cover them up right there. That's all you have to do. And then we'll lightly water them with a watering pot, and then you wait for them to grow. You'll be thankful, even though it was hard planting them a little at a time this way, you'll be thankful that you did that, because if you don't, you'll spend half the summer thinning them out. So anyway, that's how I grow carrots. We'll be looking forward to all the different colors, sizes, and shapes that we're growing. And I encourage you to grow carrots as well. They can even be grown in a pot. If you have a nice deep pot, even a bucket like the kind you see at your big box store, fill it up with good organic matter, you can plant your carrots right in there. The other thing I want to make clear here too, if you're growing your carrots in a regular garden, you have to space the rows out enough that you can walk in it. But in a raised bed, you can grow them, I'll probably go about 4 inches here and grow another row and another row and another row. So it really gives you the opportunity to get a lot from a small space. So anyway, again, I encourage you to grow carrots. They're not that hard. And thank you so much for watching our video.